It's no exaggeration to say that human beings at some level is suffering. There is this sense of really being in a mental prison, that somehow I'm confined, I'm limited, I'm constrained, or that somehow I'm not wanted, or somehow I'm not safe. When we live within those constructs, then we have no choice but to feel some sense of malaise, where there is this internal judgment, there is this internal sense of self-loathing. But true spiritual freedom is to break out of and transcend these deep inherited constraints. And one of the stories that comes to mind, for this particular girl, she was struggling with night terrors. And she was mid-30s and really would love to have a family, but she'd never let a guy stay overnight for fear of the fact that he would witness her night terrors. And they were sometimes quite dramatic. Her concern was, somebody seeing that might be a red flag, and then the relationship dissolves and she's now left by herself, which of course was her fear. Herein lies the irony, is that she was not allowing a guy to stay overnight for fear of not keeping the relationship, but not recognizing that meant she didn't actually have a relationship. Right? So this is the vicious cycle by which the ego tends to perpetuate its own suffering. The suffering is not in the circumstance itself, but rather in our response to it, our interaction with it, our perception of it. What was really absent for her was true unconditional love. And we could trace it back to various events in her childhood. She wasn't embracing herself for the fact that she had currently this condition. We worked through it and we got her the access to some freedom by realizing, oh, wait a minute, my unrest, my dis-ease, my sense of suffering is not because of the way things are, but rather how my brain is interpreting them as a potential threat. And what would that be like if she could just allow herself to be the human experiencing night terrors? If the roles were reversed, if you were dating a guy and he had awful snoring, but you love this guy, would it bother you? And she's like, no, if I loved him, then he's my partner and I would accept all aspects of him. So there she got to see how she could afford the same love towards somebody else for their shortcomings, but wasn't able to do that for herself. She got to a point where she really recognized, I'm a little bit scared that someone might judge me, but the real judgment is that which I have of myself. And so she found space and acceptance for her current condition. And that was at a lunch on a Saturday. Sunday morning, literally the next morning, I got a text from her that said, I woke up in the arms of a beautiful man. And to me, the gift was yes, of course, it was beautiful for her to find the opportunity to actually have a guy stay overnight that she cares about. But really the gift that she got was of self-acceptance. The more that she kept infusing love into her life and acceptance of herself, that softened her physiology, that made her brain more calm and relaxed. And so she actually over time stopped having so many night terrors. So the mirror of life that occurs is the degree to which I have love and acceptance of who I am, with all of my humanity, with all of my imperfections. That is the precursor to then experiencing that with everybody else. Most human beings don't know what it means to just truly be held and loved for exactly who they are. If anyone is struggling, that is the greatest gift we can give somebody, is to love them exactly the way they are for who they are at this moment in time.